Hi there, and welcome to Clueless Cooking 101. I'm Tammy, and this is Sam. Here at Clueless Cooking 101, recipes are optional, measurements are questionable, and the smoke alarm is basically our sous chef. If you're here for the laughs and to learn a little bit about cooking and to watch me try to not burn down the kitchen, you're in the right place. Okay, Clueless Cooks, let's have some laughs and have some fun in the kitchen. Welcome back, Clueless Cooks, for our Halloween episode. And the next time you go to a Halloween party, you can take what we're going to learn to bake this time, which is chocolate chip cookies. Only mine are so healthy that you can eat them for breakfast. So the first thing that I want to do is show you the ingredients because they're really simple. And sometimes on the back of chocolate chips, there's a recipe. Feel free to just follow that. I could wing it a little bit myself. So I'm going to show you the ingredients. All of this is from Walmart except for the almond flour, which they didn't have one big enough this last time. You can use like Nestle's Toll House chocolate chips or whatever. I buy Lily's. They're probably organic. I know they cost a lot more. You don't actually need to add them, or there's no recipe within it, but I always add seeds. We're going to chop some nuts. You can use walnuts, pecans, peanuts, pistachios, whatever you like in your cookies. I just happen to have pecans, so we're going to use them. Sugar, I'm going to not use a lot of it, but it's really essential. I have this kind of baking soda. You can use Walmart's version. I think it's great value. You can use Arm & Hammer. I buy this at a health food store because it is aluminum free. And so that's the kind of baking soda that I eat. This is pink Himalayan salt. And I just buy it in bulk and put it in this little container that I like a lot. I use almond flour. The other thing that you can use that makes cookies taste really good is brown rice flour if you don't use wheat flour. Because wheat flour is fine, but brown rice flour is really makes them a little drier, a little bit more like a biscotti. And I went to a nutritionist and I used to use brown rice flour all the time. And he told me it's a little hard on your gut. So I stopped, but doesn't mean anything. One organic free range egg. I do it at room temperature, so I take them out a little bit. One stick, and this is organic butter. This is Walmart's brand. And you're supposed to cream the butter and the sugar together. I sort of cheat a little bit, nuke it. So we're going to pop some of that stuff in the microwave, but we'll come back in just a moment and put all these ingredients together. But the first thing I'm going to do is turn the oven on to 350 because we're going to bake things on 350 when we get to that point. So that's what I'm going to do next, and I'll be right back. So for chocolate chip cookies, the first thing that we're going to do is take this one stick, this is technically a half a cup of butter. You can use olive oil if you want. A girlfriend of mine that is a master baker, she's a master pastry chef. She told me that if you use butter versus oil, butter makes things a little crisper. I kind of like the flavor as well. I'm going to use 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to use 1 cup of sugar. Recipes will say use brown sugar and white sugar and all that kind of stuff. I don't use the brown sugar because number one, I can't find it organic, but number two, I think it makes stuff softer, and I'm trying to not have soft cookies. So we're just using all white sugar. 1 minute in the microwave. And you're supposed to just nuke the butter and not put the sugar in there, but I am a little bit clueless, so sometimes I get things in the wrong order, and I just want you to understand that if you do, it's no big deal. Unless something happens to the sugar when it's in the microwave, then that's a big deal. You can put your dry ingredients. I really hate it when they say, put the dry ingredients in one bowl and the wet ingredients in another bowl because that's somewhat inconvenient. There's probably a reason for it. I just don't do it. Okay. We're going to do more than 2 cups of flour, but I'm going to start out with 2 cups. And they tell you to level it off and all that stuff. I do the approximate thing. I'm going to use a quarter cup 1/4 cup of seeds. You can use hemp hearts, you can use these trilogy seeds, and they have all of it at Walmart. I just use these. Generally, a recipe will tell you to put the chocolate chips in last. I don't do that, and I guess you can, but bombs away. There they go. And what else do we need? Okay, another thing where I make up the rules as I go along is they tell you to put, the recipes tell you to put the baking soda and salt in with the dry ingredients. I don't do that. I put it in with the wet ingredients. That's the stuff that we microwaved and hope that it came out okay. Oh, look at that. Luck is on our side. So microwaved butter with sugar, I don't recommend it. Put the sugar in second, but no harm, no foul. And as our guest sous chefs, who the ones that were in the fitness business will tell you that fat is okay. Most of them are sugar junkies. They love sweets. And that's always after their competition season is over, because they're bodybuilders and all that stuff, and they're trying to get their fat content down, so their diets are not very flavorful. But after competition season is over, they really dig into the sugar. And so that's why we're making chocolate chip cookies, is in honor of all the sugar junkies. Okay, I have a little bit. Okay, so this one says the same amount of baking soda and salt. And it says use a teaspoon of vanilla. Here's 1 teaspoon. I don't have vanilla, or I can't find it. So we're going to move straight into the baking soda and salt. And as I said, I put it in with the wet ingredients rather than the dry ingredients, because I just do. It's 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. All right, and then I'm going to stir those in. I have this cute little whisk, but I don't feel like getting it out. Okay, I think we're done, with the exception of having to chop nuts. And I like a little bit bigger pieces. So I'm going to cut these with a knife, and we're going to use 1 cup of nuts. So I'll measure them out, and then we'll chop them with this knife. And it makes a little bit bigger pieces. Some are really small, but most of them are bigger. So you really can taste the flavor of the nut when you bite into it. Oh, I need more than that. Well, it's a good thing that's all we need is 1 cup, because that's all I had. All right, so I'm going to put my 1 cup of nuts on this cutting board, and you can use, I have like these little round things. I've got electric choppers. Whoops, bye. We're going to chop these by hand. So we have like a little bit bigger pieces, and these are raw organic pecans. You don't have to use raw, organic, or pecans. But that's just what I have in my pantry. You can use whatever you like. And I will say that these are a little bit more expensive, and sometimes you can buy them at the Shoppers Club. Sam's has large bags. I think they have walnuts and pecans both. Not 100% sure, but I think they do. I think I got these at a health food store. And if you're allergic to tree nuts, don't use these. And you can use peanuts, which really aren't nuts, but you can use them if you have an allergy to tree nuts. Okay, so as a clueless cook, since I know that you're probably not going to chop these by hand, I wanted to do it so you could see how it was done if you decided, because it does take a little bit longer. It's a little bit messier, and the pieces are not uniform, which is the plan. All right. So as we did on the last episode, we pulled this back a little bit, scrape these nuts into the dry ingredient pan, and there's this dust that I think is essential, because it makes the cookies, when you use this nut dust, and I usually use pecans. This kind of sounds like sacrilege, but it makes the cookies a little drier, and I like almost a biscotti type texture to it. If you like a gooier cookie, I'm not sure how to do that, to be honest with you, but I'm sure that that if the recipe on the back of the bag will tell you if you want a moisture cookie, they'll tell you how to do it. All right, chopped nuts in with the dry ingredients. That's what it looks like. Not pretty, but the chocolate chips are in there. The nuts are in there. How we do on the, it hasn't beeped yet, but okay. So this is the sugar and the butter and all of that stuff, and we're gonna mix it in now. And just to refresh you, I used 2 cups of flour, and then we're probably gonna use another 1/4 to 1/2 cup of flour. But we're gonna do that after we get all of this stuff mixed up. And it's entirely possible that this is going to be a little bit too wet. And it might be how you get a gooier cookie, but I don't know. Okay, so here's the chocolate chip cookie dough, and you probably make it go faster because you will be talking along the way. I'm gonna put another 1/4 cup, after I rinse my hands, I'm gonna put another 1/4 cup of flour in there. You don't have to, because it's pretty good as it is, but I can tell I want them a little bit drier than this. So this is a 1/4 cup, and I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle it on there and hope for the best. So the overall is gonna be 2 1/4 cups. First we'll start with 2, and then we'll just add that last 1/4 cup if we need it. And you don't have to. If you don't want as dry a cookie, okay, it's stirred in just fine. Okay, so here's a little secret that is not on the recipes, and it might be a mistake, but I do it anyway. And I put my cookie dough in the fridge for 5 or 10 minutes, so it's not quite so sticky. And that gives me time to clean up a little bit. So that's what the cookie dough looks like. I'm gonna put it in the fridge for a few, clean up a little bit, be right back, and we'll put those in the oven. Hey, Clueless Cooks, sorry to interrupt this episode. I know you're probably looking at your social media feeds, so since you're already doing that, check us out. Check out Clueless Cooking 101 on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, Substack, and I even have a blog. We have videos and written posts. So check us out on all those social media sites, and we'd love to hear your comments. Welcome back, Clueless Cooks. We took a little break to put our cookie dough in the fridge, and then I got just a standard teaspoon from my flatware drawer. There might be like an official. I see like bakers that have they use an ice cream scoop or something like that. I don't know how to do that. So basically, our dough got a little bit chilled, and I just form it like that and put it on the sheet. I don't have any, but I highly recommend using parchment paper. It works really nicely. Nothing sticks. This is a real high-end cookie sheet, and it's got little nubbies in it. So things don't stick to it anyway. You can see that, and they're like little nubs. All right, and I also made a mistake. Previously, I told you we're going to preheat the oven to 350. It's actually 375. I was getting this little vibe that I had the temperature wrong, and so we're going to bake these at 375 for 12 to 15 minutes. And I recommend, since ovens don't, and many times they don't heat to the temperature that's on what it says, like the control. This one happens to be digital. Bake them at this 12 minutes, and then you might want to let them go for the amount of doneness. I like them really well done and really crisp. So we're going to bake these from 12 to 15 minutes, but we're going to start out and do 12 minutes. And I have a timer. So this sheet makes a dozen, and that's all we're going to do for this episode is 1 dozen. We'll taste them. Okay, so since this is our Halloween episode, I'm going to come back in a costume, and you can be thinking about what costume that you're going to wear, because perhaps you'll have trick-or-treaters and they're always thrilled when you answer the door and you're wearing a costume. Or of course you can go to a masquerade or a Halloween party yourself, or just entertain yourself and dress up in a costume. My daughter does these Comic-Con and MegaCon conventions. She puts all of it together, and I've never seen so many costumes in my life, but more superhero-ish than Halloweenish and ghoulish. But anyway, we'll be back in a minute, in 12 minutes, after our cookies have baked, and I'm going to take them out of the oven wearing a Halloween costume. See you in a few. Hey, Clueless Cooks, another interruption. If you will check out my website, which is cluelesscooking101.com, I'd really appreciate it. We have a blog with some recipes, and we also are going to have merchandise coming up soon so that you can have a cool apron like mine. But in the meantime, just check out our website, and I'd really appreciate it. We'll see you there.
Perfect.
Okay, welcome back, Clueless Cooks. And since it's Halloween, I'm in jail. I'm a prisoner. I don't know if you can see that. I'm a prisoner, and I'm Zed's human, and my crime was I burned the cookies. And the first batch you didn't see, but I really did. They're kind of black. So don't do what I did. I just sort of like went right through the timer because I had something more interesting to do, and that's not a good plan. So anyway, we're going to get this second batch out of the oven. 1 dozen. They are not burnt, I think, I hope. And I'm going to put them on this cooling rack, which you don't have to do, but it does help them. And then we're going to taste one. Oh, that one's stuck. That's not a good sign. Oh no. They look pretty good on the top though. Okay. So these are exactly as I had hoped. They're nice and crisp. And like that, I'm going to taste one. And then the batch that we put together, that we built together, probably make 2 to 3 dozen cookies, depending on the size. Oh, man. Yep. They came out really good. So I will say to you, I'm not going to put these on because I know I won't be able to get them off. I'm not going to wear this because it's really warm. I would say to you, happy Halloween, and enjoy your chocolate chip cookies. You can put these in the freezer, by the way. Bake them anytime. Great to take to a Halloween party. Give to your coworkers, give to your family members. They're all going to think that you're like really, really talented because these are very good. And we'll see you again the next time. And I'm going to finish my cookie. Happy Halloween. See you next time, Clueless Cooks. Okay, Clueless Cooks, something that you didn't expect. It's contest time. And I bought this really neat set of kitchen knives. And it has a peeler, 4 knives, and a set of kitchen scissors in there. And they're really high-end, very nice. I've already tried them out. They work great. So anyway, you know, we're growing Clueless Cooking 101 organically. And we're up to 100 subscribers. And so the contest that we're having is to double our subscribers to 200. So if you will share this video with your friends and ask them to subscribe, it'll help me out a whole lot. If you want to leave a comment in our YouTube section about sharing this, liking it, and encouraging people to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And it'll probably be a couple of weeks, and somebody's going to get this wonderful set of knives. So help us get to 200, please. Thanks for watching and for supporting this clueless adventure. Looks like we all survived another round of Clueless Cooking 101. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell because it only gets messier from here.